English is a promiscuous and possibly kleptonic, I am making up words now, slash thieving little get of a language, so it won't surprise you that quite a lot of English is other people's languages. One of those languages is Romani, so today I'm going to tell you about some other words which are in English which are Romani. When I say more, I probably mean 10. I think I've done 10, that's how many the script has in it. I'll roll the intro. I've recently been listening to the Word of Mouth podcast on the BBC podcast play. It's a BBC podcast. And if you're interested in words or etymology or the history of language, then I thoroughly recommend it. A recent episode was entitled Romani, where they interviewed a chap called Damien Labar. He's just written a book called Stopping Places, A Journey Through Time. I know there was a jump cut there, but that's because I forgot what the title of the... I'm really sorry, Damien. Towards the end of the podcast, they briefly discussed loan words that English has from Romani. I should say at this point that Romani has nothing to do with Romania or Rome or any of those things. It's a soft homophone, or as Damien Labar puts it, a false friend, which is an interesting phrase to use for something that kind of sounds the same but means something totally different. Romani comes from Rom, meaning man or husband in Romani. It's an Indic language, meaning that it did originate actually on the subcontinent of India. It has roots in Sanskrit. But what about those sweet, sweet words? What are those 10 words that I keep talking about that probably dragged you this far into the video? Well, contrary to an earlier video which I made about the word chav, actually it's probably not a conflation of the word Cheltenham and average made up by posho schoolgirls in Cheltenham. It actually comes from Romani. It's probably the word cha or chavi, which means child. What else? Well, kosh, as in a club. Not as in a place you go to dance with, but as in a place that you hit people over the head with. And of course there's that London favourite, kushti, which means good. I mean, you might say something is kushti. If you've watched probably any Guy Ritchie film, they probably say that a lot, probably. From the same root is the word cushy, as in good, as in something which is a bit easy. You might say that a job is a bit cushy. Then there's dinlo, which I haven't heard since I was at school. Someone who was a bit, I don't know, a bit simple. Maybe someone who's a bit stupid or is being stupid in the moment, which of course we all are on occasion, might be called a dinlo. This of course means fool. Or of course there's drag, which might or might not, no one's really quite sure. It might actually, as in drag, as in not to drag a car, but as in to dress in drag. That probably comes from a word indraka, which I'm probably saying wrong. I apologise to the Romani community, I really do. Now, like quite a lot of etymology, a lot of these phrases are contested, or, you know, there isn't enough research that I was able to find. Essentially, a lot of the sourcing for this particular video comes from Wikipedia, although you will find quite a lot of videos on YouTube from genuine members of the Romani community explaining some of these words. That's the thing when you start researching something and you aim to become an expert in something, is that you have to live with ambiguity, and I think that's probably okay, don't you? But wait, there's more words, more Romani words that appear in English. Years ago, when I was a teenager, before I had a pager, I'm sure that's a line out of a rap song. Years ago, I used to, when we were leaving somewhere, I would say, let's gel, which... coming from my mouth now sounds completely unlikely, but I assure you I was probably... I thought I was cool at some point. That's probably from the word jow, which is Romani to go. Again, I've probably said that wrong. Lollipop, although that is not its original form, but lollipop in English also has an etymology in Romani, and it means red apple. Years ago, our caretaker at school, who was appeared to be, I mean, terribly old when I was a child, he probably wasn't that old, and he had a face like a cave, he was called Mr. Dyer, and if you were in his way, he'd be like, out of the way, mush. Well, it turns out that means man, as does loke, which is where we get the word bloke. Something Mr. Dyer would never have said is, all right, pal, because pal is actually a Romani word. That's not why he wouldn't say it. I've linked that sentence badly. Either way, the root word is P-H-R-A-L, which I'm not going to try to pronounce, and that means brother or friend. There are, of course, more, but I'll just leave these ones here, and just to say, if you are of Romani heritage, I hope that I haven't trampled all over your frankly amazing language that we've sort of nicked some words from, but also maybe let me know in the comments if I've missed any. And also, if you're Damien Labar and you're watching this through some amazing miracle, can you get on and write that lexicon that you started when you were a child? Because I'd quite like to read it. If you're watching this on Instagram, then you can find a full library, if you will, of my videos on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, go and follow me on Instagram. Sometimes I might do something that is vaguely interesting. All right, take care of yourself.